Tarot reading is really popular these days, and lots of people go to it to understand more about themselves and figure out where they're headed in the future. But what's the big difference between tarot reading and multiverse astrology, and which one is more accurate? So in today's video, we'll do a little analysis to see how these two subjects are different. First off, the way these two things work is very different. Multiverse astrology looks at how planetary geometries line up in the birth chart across 6 different dimensions to give an analysis. To be more specific, each person or each event who has 6 astrology charts. For example, you can see in the image here an example of a multiverse astrology birth chart, and each person who has 6 different birth charts like that. Multiverse astrology may use up to dozens of planets, asteroids, dwarf planets, and midpoints in one reading. And each celestial body in multiverse astrology means something different. But depending on the specific question from the client, the multiverse astrologer will focus on a specific planet set. For example, if the question is about career, they will focus on financial planets such as Venus, Neptune, Pluto, Chiron, Ceres, Sedna, Odin, and Midas. But if the question is about love, the most important point to pay attention to is Chiron, representing true love in multiverse astrology. On the other hand, in tarot, to answer questions from clients, the tarot readers shuffle the cards and randomly pick a few, usually 3 out of the 78 cards, and each tarot card has different meaning. But when you put the 3 cards together, they make different combinations of meanings. So that's what the tarot reader uses to make their analysis and interpretations. When you compare them, multiverse astrology is more complex, while tarot reading is simpler. Because of its complexity, multiverse astrology gives more detailed, specific, and clear analysis compared to tarot. However, tarot reading is quicker to give answers because shuffling and picking cards is fast, and multiverse astrology takes more time to analyze planetary geometries across 6 different dimensions before giving an answer. Secondly, the foundations of these two subjects are very different. Multiverse astrology is entirely built on scientific research and experimentation. Specifically, all theories of multiverse astrology are tested on hundreds or even thousands of real-life cases, but only hypotheses with accuracy of 80% or higher are accepted into the multiverse astrology system. So this is what makes multiverse astrology very accurate. On the other hand, the foundation of tarot reading is very vague. According to tarot readers, the key to accuracy in interpretation is the alignment or connection between the reader and the tarot deck. In other words, the more aligned with the tarot decks, the more accurate the reader can be. But this is something very difficult to experimentally verify on a large scale. So, tarot reader doesn't have any scientific basis like multiverse astrology, and this is the second difference between these two subjects. Thirdly, the accuracy of these two subjects is very different. As you can easily see, the multiverse astrology will have higher accuracy because it's built entirely on scientific basis to create an extensive and sophisticated theoretical system. On the other hand, tarot reading will have lower accuracy because the operational system is extremely vague. And in many cases, with the same question but different readers, you will get completely opposite advice because each reader randomly draws three different cards. But there's something few people know, that is, answers from tarot reading are only short-term and will change over time and vary depending on the readers. For example, I had a customer named Billy, nearly 30 years old, facing a lot of pressure from her family about getting married, and she asked me for advice on whether or not she should move forward with marrying a younger guy that she just met. After using Multiverse Astrology to analyze the compatibility level, I advised her to stop because there were so many heartbreak clashes in the synastry chart between them. However, after receiving the results she did not want to hear, Billy went to two different tarot readers, and the result that she received was to continue because there was a strong love between them. So Billy decided to hastily get married with a young guy. 3 years later, Billy messaged me saying that she had divorced her young husband, and before making the final decision, Billy also had a tarot reading, but this time the result that she received was to not continue this relationship, and that was exactly what I had advised Billy from the beginning. As a result, the answers from tarot reading are only valuable in the short term, and you will have to consult multiple times because the results will change over time. On the contrary, Multiverse Astrology could provide accurate analysis and prediction in both short-term and long-term, and you will only need to use the consultation service of Multiverse Astrology once for a specific question. In conclusion, if you want to receive temporary answer in the short term, then go for tarot reading. But if you want accurate analysis and interpretation in the long run, then Multiverse Astrology will be a wiser choice for you. Going a bit off topic, looking back at the human history, there have been many brilliant scientists who spent time studying astrology with a scientific approach. First, we have Aristotle, a philosopher and polymath from ancient Greece who was also Alexander the Great's personal tutor. Next, we have Nicolaus Copernicus, who was willing to sacrifice himself to prove that the sun is the center of the solar system, not the earth. Then there's Galileo Galilei, one of the most influential scientists of all time. Another notable figure is Johannes Kepler, the first one to accurately describe the motion of planets in the solar system. After that, we have Benjamin Franklin, considered the founding father of the United States, for choosing the date of the Declaration of Independence and passing the Constitution for the United States. And today, the United States is the most powerful country in the world. Lastly, we have Isaac Newton, a significant figure in the scientific revolution and the Enlightenment era. But have you ever heard any of the great scientists using tarot reading? I bet not, and the reason for that is tarot reading is a subject without any scientific basis, so mainstream scientists reject it. In addition, both astrology and tarot can provide answers to various questions from different aspects such as love, money, and more. And this has existed for quite a long time. But why do many astrology consultants still use tarot in their work, even though astrology can still provide the answers? And the most common reason for this is because the abilities of those astrologers are limited. In other words, when their astrology knowledge is not sufficient enough to answer, they will use tarot reading as a supporting tool. So, if you see any astrologers using tarot reading in their consultation process, it's highly likely that they are an astrologer with shaky expertise. To sum up, tarot reading and multiverse astrology are two subjects providing advice and guidance for confused and lost clients. However, there's a big difference between them. Tarot reading lacks a scientific basis and usually only offers short-term advice, and overall, the accuracy of tarot reading is not very high. On the contrary, multiverse astrology is built on a scientific basis capable of providing high precision analysis and long-term advice. So, if you need general advice that's only accurate in the short term, then tarot reading might be the one suitable for you. However, if you demand advice built on scientific basis with high accuracy in the long term, then multiverse astrology could be a wiser choice for you. Follow my channel and join my Facebook group called Multiverse Astrology if you really want to study astrology from scientific perspectives. And if you have any comments or questions, please drop them below. I will reply as soon as I can. And if you want to book any consultation session with me, please send me an inbox and check the link in the description below. And if you want to get your birth chart in 6 dimensions, please visit AstroPro, our free astrology birth chart drawing tool at en.astropro.vn. And now it's time to say goodbye, my magic friends. Goodbye and see you again very soon.